It's the Disneyland with Kids podcast, bringing you travel tips, park tidbits, and the best Southern California travel deals.
Who's your friend that likes to play? Well, it's everyone because it is Pixar Fest 2024. Pixar Fest runs at Disneyland Resort from April 26th through August 4th. And as your co-hosts, we have been there and experienced it all to share with you. We were invited as guests of Disneyland Resort and Getaway Today during a hosted trip, and we got to experience all things Pixar. They made a fantastic itinerary for us, and then we filled in the blanks with a lot of fun. Becca, I'm so glad you were there with me to experience all things Pixar.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you right now, you kind of lied. You're a liar, Jessica. We did
Okay.
not experience everything, and we'll talk about that a little bit later because we didn't experience
Well, I
everything.
mean,
Because
we did 3 days and we still didn't do everything. So I guess that's just a hint to get that 5th day free ticket because there's a lot happening during Pixar Fest.
there is, and remember that part of the reason Getaway Today brings us is so that we can inform you guys and you can get the best deals by using our link. Just go to disneylandwithkids.info/book and you'll get our exclusive pricing on tickets that's lower than if you just go to their website. Okay, Jessica, what's the first thing you want to talk about? Because we did so much.
We did so much. And as you know, there's a ton of Pixar themed rides. Those are open, those stay open throughout Pixar Fest. I think one of the highlights for me was seeing so many Pixar characters and more rare characters out and about. And it's not just in one place, there's so many places and so many ways to meet and greet or just wave from afar. I loved that interactive element with Pixar Fest.
I did too. And unfortunately, though, my timing was pretty off to getting to see characters with where I was, which was a little sad, but I still saw some. It just was, it was a jam-packed weekend and we did not have time to really wait in line.
Yes, there are so many places you can see Pixar characters. So hopefully you'll find yourself in the right place at the right time during your trip. So Pixar Pier, of course. We ran into Buzz. There's also characters galore in the Pixar parade. Give us the official name of that parade.
It is the Better Together something Pixar parade.
We love to call it the Pixar Parade. That's a daytime parade at California Adventure, and it runs twice a day. The great thing about this parade is there are so many opportunities to see characters, get waves and interactions from them, and tons of places to view this parade. So don't stress about that. The parade route is super long at California Adventure, and you are sure to catch that parade once, maybe even twice throughout your day, especially if you're dedicating a whole day to California Adventure. But over at Disneyland, there's a place that really surprised me. So this is another place you can interact with characters, and it surprised me in a great way.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're talking about the Pixar Playtime Party, I believe is the official name.
Yes, and again, there's so many different names and things you might mix up, but the place, location, and what you're doing, I think, is more important than the official name. But that is over at the Fantasyland Theater. Now, there's another thing called Club Pixar, but when I walked into this Fantasyland Theater, that's what I imagined Club Pixar was going to be, because there was music and lights and dancing and Pixar characters everywhere. And it's not like a set time for the show, which is what I had imagined, that you need to come in there and be sat for a show that's a certain duration, because that's also what we're used to at the Fantasyland Theater. Now, this was totally different. Just come and go as you please, and lots of photo opportunities. Tell us about that.
They have lots of backdrops available. There was an Up-inspired one. They have the booze door set up at a station that you can walk through. They have a backdrop for Radiator Springs. for Cars fans. They had a Luca backdrop. They had the van from Onward that the brothers drive. So lots of really
Very
cool
cool.
different setups. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's characters dancing with the crowd throughout these parties. So maybe a misnaming. I feel like it should be called Club Pixar. So let's jump over to Club Pixar. That's over at California Adventure Park. They have these cool neon signs. It looks really cool at night. Um, but it wasn't a club. It wasn't what I expected.
Yeah.
However, still fun. But what to expect over there?
Yeah, so a lot of us expected something kind of like the Mad Tea Party or the Tron things that they used to have over there at night, and that's not at all what it is. It still has performances on the stage a little bit, but it's not like a just a dance party. It also has some games you can play, but I think my favorite thing, and I think this is the thing that they went like really all out on in that area, is the drive-in theater for the shorts to watch the Pixar shorts.
So cute. The area just is so adorable. We spent a lot of time taking pictures there. I think it's a great place for family photos because you can hop into these vintage cars that look like they're pulled up in front of a drive-in movie and take some pictures or just sit and watch the Pixar shorts and relax, take a little break. And then, like you said, nearby, there's all those games. And these are games that are free to play. They're just little outdoor games. There's a giant chessboard. There's different things that you can do just to kind of unwind and do a little free play.
Yeah, it was a fun area, but yeah, it was definitely different than I expected, so be aware of that.
Okay, so Pixar food galore. Right now, you have different restaurants that have specialty Pixar food items. What did we try?
Mostly the treats. They gave us so many treats
True.
while we were there. But there was a special burger at Flo's that a lot of people in our group tried, which they also had this really cool like chocolate cake with a red velvet center that looked like a tire there. We tried the Pixar cake at Plaza Inn, which was totally different than what I expected it to be like. A lot of the Plaza Inn ones always taste like they just use a bunch of food dye or like or they're really rich, like the chocolate one. This one was
Mhm.
very light and fluffy and pretty good.
Mhm.
They have lots of cake pops, lots of cookies, so many different things. Um, Not so much savory, but I think that's because that part will be coming. And this is why I called you a liar, Jessica, because we didn't do everything
Okay,
because part of
fair.
Pixar Fest isn't there yet. Because starting May
Right.
12th, they will have an all new marketplace with the food booths. It's going to have 6 food booths, so kind of a smaller one like Lunar New Year. And there'll be foods you can taste. And I imagine that would have more of the savory items. But there's definitely plenty to eat. We did not try everything, but we did try a sampling of some of the special stuff.
Yeah, and the food booths are themed to Pixar. One of my favorite names has to be Hanger Management. That's so perfect. And they're going to feature some food items from Inside Out. Well, food items that they imagine the characters would enjoy or that kind of exude the theming of those characters. There's some other Pixar themed food marketplaces, and that's going to be a lot of fun to really get into the characters' mindset there while you're at California Adventure.
Definitely.
What else do we have on our list?
Well, I think one of the big ones is that I was excited for is the up house flying. That's what I'm just gonna call it. I'm not gonna call it what it's really called. The up house flies over the castle. That's all that matters.
It's magical. The fireworks spectacular show, which will be fireworks on select nights and projections on other nights. This is Pixar themed. You're going to see all the Pixar, a roundup of some of the most popular Pixar films, music, and if you are at the right spot, right by the castle on Main Street, even just a little bit back, you will be able to see that magic flying over the castle, which just is like the perfect kiss goodnight.
Yes. And those are called the Together Forever, a Pixar Nighttime Spectacular. That's the name of the fireworks, not to be confused with the Better Together Pixar Parade. So, Disney likes to do that to us, right? They like to make things really close so that you'll say the wrong thing. Um, but yeah, those
The
were
tongue
great.
twister.
Yeah, those were great fireworks. Also, Buzz Lightyear flies over the castle to kind of kick it off. And when they've had to, when we went, they had to cancel the fireworks like the day before or something, but they still got Buzz and the Up House over the castle with the projections.
Oh,
So that's kind of
perfect.
nice that you'll get to still see that.
I love that. Good to know. And we've talked about it before. Other places to watch projections are going to be on It's a Small World, and you can still view fireworks from there if it's a fireworks night. Also over Rivers of America, which right now is very chill because Phantasmic hasn't quite made its return yet, but that will be back soon. And if you're there during Phantasmic, you will be able to stay in that viewing area to watch those Pixar fireworks or projections right after your Phantasmic show. So, if there is one thing that people should make time for during this Pixar Fest of 2024, what would you say that would be, Becca?
I would definitely make time for the fireworks for sure. That was my favorite
Mhm.
of all the things was the fireworks, but of the other items, I would say the Pixar Playtime party or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Yeah, my daughter was there with some friends during this trip, and I texted her and said, "You need to come check this out. It's pretty wild. It's not what I expected. Just come check it out to at least take some pictures." So I think it's something that people of all ages will like, and there's really no like specific time commitment. You don't have to
Right.
worry about when you're showing up. If you're going in or out of Toontown, or maybe you've taken the railroad, hop off at Toontown and stop by that theater. Is all covered in canopies as well, so that gives you like a little break. There's food and bathrooms right there. And another thing with food, as of right now, there's still popcorn buckets left. So many popcorn buckets, and they are cool. If you've ever seen popcorn buckets from Tokyo, it really feels like those are coming over. Which ones did you get, Becca?
Just all three, but they weren't all for me. So I got the Doug one. He talks. He says some of those famous lines like "I've just met you and I love you," and squirrel. Of course, he says squirrel. But that is for magic key holders only. And at the time, that one was only available at Pixar Pier's popcorn thing station, and there was in front of the castle. But I guess there's a couple other places, but some of them have been running out, but they're available other places. It's just till they get more brought over to them. I also picked up the Coco guitar. It's the guitar from it, and I love it because first off, the strings you can pluck, and they're plasticky, so it has a little bit of a kid toy sound. But
Yeah.
we found out they can also be tuned. So we have tuned the guitar at our house. Like obviously you can't tune it too
No
much.
way.
Yes. And then it's beautiful. And then I did pick up the Pizza Planet truck,
It
which is
is.
the I think the one of the best ones because it goes like it will actually go. It's a pullback and it can go and it has one of the little
That's so
green men
cute.
in it. And I picked that one up, but that one was actually I grabbed for our co-founder of Disneyland Kids, Julie, because she wanted it. And I just happened to be right at the popcorn stand on Pixar Pier when it was opening. And so I was the first in line. I was like, "You're opening in 5 minutes? Sweet. I'll just wait right here." And I got that for her.
I
But
love that.
the merchandise this time is amazing, not just with the popcorn buckets either. Like it has great stuff. Like they sold out of the headbands. They have the ones from the Asian parks where you can make them yourself. They sold out of those.
Okay, and I do know that there's more merchandise coming, things that we haven't seen yet. So that'll be
Yeah.
exciting when you're coming later this summer. You'll be able to possibly get your hands on those. Now, something that is really confusing, so let's clarify it, and really fun. There are hidden Toy Story trucks everywhere. These are not the popcorn buckets, and they are not what you would think. I would say these are Toy Story not popcorn, Toy Story trucks in disguise. Tell us about that,
Yes.
because this is a really fun way to work your way through the parks.
Right. Yeah, so it's almost like a hidden Mickey, but with a Pixar spin, right? So you're trying to find these, and they will be decorated or hidden in the theming of wherever they are. So I'll tell you, there are two in the area of Guardians of the Galaxy. One is in the ride, so they can be in the ride queues or in the ride itself, and one is somewhere around where the ride is. And you just have to look, and they're decorating the area. The one I found that was a surprise to me was during the ride on Cars Land in Radiator Springs Racers. There
Okay.
was one within the town of Radiator Springs Racers, hidden kind of in the shadows. And that's the most I'm going to tell you of that. But yeah, there's all these
Right.
different
So
ones.
I feel like this is very geared toward adults because it is not in your face at all. I went through the Adventureland Treehouse and I said, there's got to be one in here because this is so perfect. And I looked and stood at each room and looked at different angles and did not find anything. And there is one in there. So it's a lot
Same
of
with
fun.
we rode Pirates of the Caribbean and I was looking like crazy. I was sure it'd be in the treasure room and it wasn't, or at the last little treasure room type thing. It wasn't there. I looked everywhere and I could not find that one either. And we have friends like some of them are really easy. Like we walked by a window and oh, there's one. But some of them are really hard to
Okay.
find. And the rumor is, and I don't know if Disney's confirmed this, that there are 50.
Okay.
So it's a lot.
So I don't know that you'll be able to catch all 50, but definitely I know some of our colleagues are working on lists to get those out. And honestly, even if you had the list, you still might not be able to find them because they're that tricky and they're not that bright yellow. But it's just really cool because that ties into all the Easter eggs in Pixar films. And I think this is a really great way to tie it all together. One thing that I feel like is they've done a good job at making this resort wide. You're going to see the welcome to Pixar Fest as you walk in the main gates, even before. And it is a celebration of all things friends and pals. So bring your friends and pals to Disneyland Resort this summer during Pixar Fest 2024.